Yeah, okay, I think that's about enough of that. That was Hypnotized by Audio Slave, and that was alright. Not really my scene. Welcome to the Power 92.3 WKVR. This is J-Dox coming to you from his personal show, Please Cancel Me. And in this 2-hour segment, which you might want to just, wait out the 2 hours with the radio turned off, I'm just going to be playing whatever I like and talking about whatever I like. And later on today, I will be joined by some new up-and-coming DJs who will pop in at an undetermined time. But since I'm completely discombobulated showing up here after being at the marketplace for the families for homecoming weekend, I'm going to just throw it on to Brian Altano's album Misanthrope while I go get the stuff that I left back in the Von Liebig building. So, there we go. Here's Misanthrope. That was Overlords by Brian Altano. And coming up next, we're going to be taking it in a synthier direction here today on Please Cancel Me with Redline by Laserhawk. That was The Fix by Laserhawk off of their album Hold On, Let Me See What It Was. It's lost, never mind. So I apologize earlier if I was really flustered and bumbling around, even though I still kind of am. But they just come back from the marketplace for the parents' homecoming weekend and all that. And I was out there selling honey for the bees, not for the bees, from the bees to the people. And it was all just a huge, crazy mess. I had to come back here real hurriedly to get on my show. And it is half after the hour right now, so that means weather. In Huntingdon, Pennsylvania, it is currently fairly sunny, but fairly rainy also. It's a little drizzly. It's probably, I'm going to spitball, I'm going to say like 63 degrees or something. And, I mean, stay inside if you can. It's nice. It's a good day to bundle up. Anyway, so I'm here currently with two of the newer radio DJs who are here shadowing me, and they're not on the mics right now, but they will be soon. And I'm showing them around the soundboard, even though I barely know how to work it myself. And I'm, so I got myself more collected since we had gone to the Laserhawk songs. That was what was it? That was Overdrive and then The Fix that you heard. And I was just in a huge flurry. I was crazy, but like while that was on, like I got a sandwich that I shoved in my face really quick, and I drank a lot of water, so I'm hydrated and I'm ready to actually handle this show. It's just been going back and forth all day for me. So we're gonna keep it with some synthwave, and if you like some of this, I've been thinking about having a new synthwave show of my own at some point, as though I need more hours here to just spend speaking into a microphone into nothingness. I know my parents are listening, and hopefully some other people out there are too. But here's Ocean Drive by Miami Nights 64, and we're going to figure out how this soundboard works. All right, that was Talk Radio by, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing this right, but it's either Christ or it's Chris TTT or it's Chris. It's just Chris with 3 crucifixes after it, and that was from their album Frasier Wave, which, if I recall correctly, is a cool vaporwave album that samples only the television show Frasier. So this is Please Cancel Me. I'm J-Dox, and you're listening to the Power 92.3 WKVR. Unfortunately, I'm all out of air horns today. Otherwise, I would up the morning Saturday radio. Oh, it's actually the mid-afternoon, but it feels like morning to me. So I get into this thing where I'm just here and I can't even think of anything to say. And wow, this has been a running thing. I used to come in with things written and stuff, or if you listen to The Slouch Tuesday night, you would have heard me and my co-host DJ Static talking for like 2 hours at a time, I swear. So I'm recording this stuff in Audacity, and because I like to have it on record. It's a sort of like a resume thing, and my parents, my family will listen back to it, and sort of just to hear my voice. And like, it's not really podcasting for me though, if I'm just speaking just by myself. I don't know, but even doing like a full 2-hour set of Please Cancel Me, I'm playing a lot of music still, and the only real talking I do amounts to like a half an hour. And that was even generous last week, where I got really upset about sharks again. But that's, part of my whole thing. I did get a cool shark sticker against finning of sharks from a lovely woman whose name I didn't get at the marketplace for homecoming weekend today. And she was selling all kinds of cool stuff, and she was telling me that her son was a marine biologist, and this website that the sticker alludes to, which I will get for you shortly after the next song, is all about, much as one would adopt a highway, you can adopt a shark. And they'll put a little sticker on it or something, or like a tracker, and then if it pops up again, if it shows up on anyone's radar, or like anyone sees it, then you get sent a little email about like, hey, we spotted that shark that you adopted. And it's like, wow, that's great. I wish they would call sometime. I really miss that shark that I adopted as my son. But I'm totally going to do that. I'm going to adopt a shark. Oh, if my parents are listening, birthday or Christmas present idea, adopt a shark in my name, and that would be real cool. And then I would get like a tattoo of a shark, like really big, right across my forehead, and it goes in and out of each of my eyes. And then I'll go work for sharks for the rest of my life, because I can't get a job with a face tattoo. Anyway, I'm really rambling right now because I'm trying to pad out like the YouTube video of this that I'm going to be putting up eventually. But let's just do away with that. Here's That Old Black Hole by Dr. Dog. Oh, and my microphone's not on. That was That Old Black Hole by Dr. Dog from the album Be the Void. So I remembered something I wanted to talk about this week, and I'm actually a little hesitant to like dig into it. It's not like particularly controversial, except for the headline that Batman is a bad person. But I haven't really prepared what I was going to say, and if I just dig into it, it's centered around the idea that Batman is fundamentally a bad person, but not a bad crime fighter, not a bad superhero. He's great at what he does, but he doesn't, he doesn't make any progressive movement towards like the betterment of society as like one would try to do while fighting injustice. But he's just not tackling bigger injustices. Is basically, oh god. So I'm already making a fool out of myself. If I had someone here, I would be able to talk to them about it. Like if I had someone bouncing, like I hate my friends that they left me, but that's all good. Anyway, like I can't figure out how to word exactly what I'm going to say if I'm just speaking to myself, because it's normally that's just like a short circuit in your brain. Like your thoughts just go to your thoughts. You don't need to send thoughts to your mouth to make words that then go back to your ears and then back in your brain. I mean, you can just, there's a simpler one of just thinking it to yourself, which is what I do. But if I don't have someone here that I need to specifically articulate it to, then gosh, I don't know. I'm looking into Skyping people in the future. I want to Skype in my buddy Caleb and do some other stuff, hopefully. But I don't know. Like this is all just computer output. I'm rambling. Here's USB Stick by Disaster Radio. I really gotta just stop. All right, that was USB Stick by Disaster Radio off of the album Electric Blanket. And that was some good free vaporwave type electronic stuff that I picked up from Bandcamp because I like downloading free music. But we have, for the very first time, submitted through our streaming services, which you can find at whatever link I've provided. I can't read it off. It's very complicated. But there is a submission thing, and guess who submitted? A returning character to Please Cancel Me, my parents, who are messaging me the whole time. And this one goes out to Mom. It's the Beatles. Oh, and they're calling me. You can't call me in the middle of my show. My phone is hooked up to the Audacity. That's crazy. All right, goodness gracious. That was Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, and that was requested by my parents for my parents, and they just called me as well to tell me that since it's Parents' Weekend, I should probably be playing some of those good oldies. And she told me one that was, I gotta find it up because I can't remember right now. Glenn Miller. Okay, sure. Here's In the Mood, Glenn Miller, and the bridging the generation gap here. I'm looking at this through YouTube, and the thumbnail is these like black and white dancing dudes. So that's pretty cool. I play some like older things probably today. Yeah, because my parents were telling me that I can't just be playing my techno Euro garbage on Parents' Weekend with all of the oldies listening. So, I hope any of you are. I just hadn't really expected that anyone ever listens to this station. But anyway, here's Glenn Miller. All right, yes, much applause. That was In the Mood by the Glenn Miller Orchestra, and welcome back to the Power 92.3 WKVR, where I'm a grown man and I can make my own decisions. But I'm still gonna play some oldies. Here's Sex Pistols, Holiday in the Sun. But before that, I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about, so here's that. And this is the special homecoming Parents' Weekend, extra flustered and disorganized version of Please Cancel Me, the show where the station manager comes in and proves that he's almost entirely incompetent to make this happen. So I'm trying to find my go-to whenever my parents are telling me to play older music, and it's Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen? Or was it... Maybe it was Phil Collins. It was like Margarita or something, or Margarita, or... Oh, gosh. Okay. Or maybe it was Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. I can never keep track of these old people. But here's some Bruce Springsteen, You Can Never Tell. And I can never... live from Leipzig, Germany. And see, I can never tell who these people are. But this is You Can Never Tell. Oh my gosh. I'm falling apart real fast here. I wish you could see the video that's playing along with this. This is really crazy. Oh my gosh. When does the song start? Oh my gosh. It's like 2 minutes. I'm skipping ahead. It's 2 minutes in, and Bruce Springsteen is here like trying to tune his guitar or something. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That was Bruce Springsteen's You Can Never Tell, which I just figured out was a cover of a Chuck Berry song originally, so don't let that white man take credit for Chuck Berry. But man, I thought that would really not end. Like, he just kept bringing out more dudes, and then they were like winding down, and he just kept bringing out more dudes, like to do brass solos. And then like they were winding down, and they're like, no, we'll do one more verse before. Oh man. So, my parents like, you want Bruce Springsteen and old jams? I will drown you in Bruce Springsteen. And anyway, what I wanted to talk about, because we played that Glenn Miller a second ago. If you are interested in some like big band type stuff, or some old brassy wibbly warbly, whatever, the 1930s and 40s and 50s type stuff, tune in on I think it's Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. Tuesdays at 6. DJ Mr. New Vegas does his show Fallout Radio, and he plays all kinds of like those old swing jams and all kinds of other cool stuff. But being as that it's throwback Saturday to a whole bunch of songs that I don't listen to, here's Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall, and we got the nice train opening. It's very scary. Is this what? Everyone's got weird masks, and they're on a train. Like, I can't watch this. This is super creepy. All right, I'm gonna lose my mind here. All right, that was Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall, and I had the wrong microphone on. So, if the other two new DJs are still out there right now in the other room, then do not take my production of this show today as any indication of how you should manage something. I'm literally jumping from YouTube video to YouTube video because I've got no idea which way I'm playing these things. But we're gonna go back to we're gonna go keep it sort of in the older way as we've been, but like I want to play some of my own stuff. And here's something that we played at Lobster Fest for the social dance group, and it was real cool. This is Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Mr. Pinstripe Suit. All right, that was Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Mr. Pinstripe Suit, and I just remembered where I'd heard that before. It was from a nightmare where I was being chased through my grandparents' old house by Beetlejuice. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy is some really cool stuff, some really like hardcore New Orleans swing. I don't know how to describe it because I'm not super versed in different kinds of genres and subgenres and stuff, but I have been listening to or reading up on what ska is and where ska came from, and it's an interesting history. You wouldn't not a lot of people would know, seeing as how many white boys have ska bands and play ska music that it originated in Jamaica from a whole bunch of different interesting sources, and it's gone through a couple waves where it was picked up by like the English mods in the 60s and 70s and stuff, and it was really cool. Anyway, here's the Employees. Pick it up. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. All right, that was Pick It Up by the Employees because I'm listening to a lot more ska recently, and I've been digging on that. So, this is Please Cancel Me, hosted by J-Dox on the Power 92.3 WKVR. If you're listening to this on the radio, then I've been on here for an hour and a half right now, and if you're listening to it on YouTube, then I've probably been on here for 5 minutes because it's been a lot of music, not a lot of talking because I don't really have anything to say. It's really a matter of like having a good co-host to bounce stuff off of in here because I was here for The Slouch this Tuesday, which is my 11 p.m. show on Tuesdays that I do with a friend of mine. And we just got talking and we could not stop talking. It got to the point where I had made the show to like talk and to play some shoegaze and dream pop and stuff. But then we just started talking and we kept talking. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to put the music on like as background stuff underneath us. And we just kept going and it just like ran through so much music and we talked for like a straight 2-hour session. We went way over time. But since there's of course nobody on after me that late at night, I mean, who cares? But it was just really crazy and I didn't get enough sleep, but I have way too much audio that I'm trying to edit to upload, and I might just break it into chunks. But if I upload that to my channel with the rest of the stuff, then I'll feel kind of like, oh, well, I don't talk worth barely anything on my own show, and I can't like put the music to pad it out because of like copyright stuff. So it's just me talking for like 5 minutes, like coming in and out of songs and not really saying anything interesting. I don't know. I think I gotta start writing stuff up again. I want to. Which reminds me, it's far overdue for some campus news for Juniata College on the lovely October 3rd of 2015. And happy third day of Halloween, everybody. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for the Halloween month, the month of Halloween. I'm just thinking about skeletons all the time and how I got one inside of me. Wow, it's trying to get out, this skeleton. But I don't know. What are you going to be for Halloween? Send us in. Write us letters at Juniata College Box 726, 1700 Moore Street, 16652. I'm so very tired. I'm going to go take a nap. You can address that to J-Dox or Please Cancel Me or anything. I haven't gotten any mail yet this year. And I'm going to put that on you, audience. I'm going to blame you for it. But you can also hit me up on pleasecancelme.tumblr.com. And there's Facebook. But I was going to talk about something, and it just skibbly-dipped right on out of my dang head. I'm falling apart over here. Dude, I like how really I've improved so very little since I actually started doing the radio like a year and a half ago. I'm still very much falling apart into my own shirt and not knowing what's going on. Oh, but what I wanted to talk about was some Juniata news. So upcoming events. So I only have the one because I haven't written anything out really. But so Parents Weekend is right now, but don't forget that I'm starting halfway through, and I think it's going to be dumb. But remember that next weekend is Children's Weekend. So make sure all your paperwork is in order for the Vortex to, and make sure you register what age you want your kids to be coming through from the future to meet you. That would be a really cool event if you could, like, meet your parents in college or something. That'd be crazy. Oh, see, because I didn't write that, right? I didn't write that. That could have been a good bit, like a skim off of the, Parents Weekend. You have a Child's Weekend where a child visits you from the future through a vortex, and that would be super weird and super confusing. And then, like, what happens if you try to register for that? It's just like, oh, like, we don't have any, like, possible, like, children registered to you for the future. Then you're like, oh, that's concerning. Like, what's up with that? And then they're just like, oh, you just never had kids. You decided not to. And then that would be kind of chill. That might be a little sad if all of your classmates are going around with, like, dudes that are probably, I would totally want a child to show up older than me and just be like, wow, dude, so you're like my spawn and your life is more in order than I am. Like, you have a real job. That would be real cool. And then they can see me and be like, yeah, you're a total pile of garbage. Just showing up at the radio and then talking into your face for 2 hours. I'm seriously starting to ramble here because I'm like, I haven't eaten a whole bunch. My blood sugar is real low. I'm probably dehydrated. I'm delirious. I came right from the market to here, and I'm going to go right from here to game dev meeting, and I haven't even made the character sprites like I was supposed to. So I guess I'm just going to be messing around in Photoshop for like another 2 hours to get a character to put in this game. I might just totally just bail on it and just sleep. But I can't. I can barely handle myself right now. Oh, so I wanted to go back to You Can Never Tell. And here's the original one by Chuck Berry, because I don't like Bruce Springsteen as much as I like Chuck Berry, I guess. And that's not like a super wide margin either. But this is Chuck Berry, You Can Never Tell. So I hope I'm not stirring anything up by, like, saying whatever about Bruce Springsteen or Pink Floyd or whoever else we've been playing today, because the fact is I just don't have, like, much of an opinion about any of them. And I was kind of just like, I don't listen to that really on my own, and I was sort of approaching it from a sort of nothing perspective, and I was just talking some garbage out of my butt about it. But I mean, I feel like for a lot of classic rock stuff, like we played Sex Pistols and all that stuff, the default perception of it trends to reverence. And I haven't been meaning to say anything poorly about these artists, but if it, like, came off as that, I think that's a matter of, like, the default perception being of reverence and, like, adoration to them. But I just sort of don't have that. I'm like a very millennial type of person, but I'm not like, I'm really contrarian to the sentiment that the, like, modern musical scene is not as good as it was back in the 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff with these older bands and musicians. Because I just don't feel that way. I think that's a sort of, like, counterculture to the general mindset that, like, modern techno type music is, like, kind of noise or just garbage or something, which, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I think it's like nothing's either good or bad. That's just the focus of the generation. And I think to over romanticize the past, especially in the musical scene, and I mean, not that it's bad at all that these old bands still, like, hold up really well, but to do so at the detriment of your own generation's music, I think is very, like, it's not. I'm not trying to be adversarial to, like, different generations and time frames of music, but it's just that, like, why are you, throwing the musical and artistic innovations of your own generation under the bus to, like, differentiate yourself from the crowd by, like, intentionally just being contrarian to the, the modern musical developments and, like, what the youth are into now, instead just going and grabbing onto, like, the older stuff that your parents and your grandparents did. Not that there's a problem with liking any of those bands. I'm just saying, like, you don't need to be a snob about listening to old music. Sorry, if you can't tell, I had, like, a really bad experience with someone in the last couple days that it turned into this, because something I like to do for fun, just to mess with that sort of anti-modern music sentiment is to play Blank Banshee while I talk poorly about the Beatles, about how they're just very overhyped and the over-revered dramatically. I guess if that makes any sense. I don't know, over-revered. I have to figure out what I'm thinking about that. So for reference, though, here's what Blank Banshee sounds like. And imagine me like saying that the Beatles are like too mainstream, like less than half of what they've been hyped up to be through the media for countless generations. Just beating not even a good horse, but just beating a dead, not even great horse with a stick. So imagine. And then get mad at me and then send in letters. All right, that was Blank Banshee. No, you're not going in the next song. I won't let you, David. So that was Dreamcast by Blank Banshee, and that was just to, flush all of the classic rock out of my brain real quick so I can get back onto my normal rhythms. But thank you, Mom and Dad, for listening and for sending in that stuff. I mean, you're not wrong. If there are any parents around here listening that for a Parents' Weekend, then by all means, I should probably be doing something better than what I normally do, because I think I do have some sort of, I don't know what the word is, it might be esoteric tastes in this kind of stuff. And you can tell out of the entire bit that I just did that I'm entirely flustered and floundering up here because I'm just sort of blathering into the microphone. I don't have a co-host to bounce off of or anything, and it's really just me speaking out into the void. So that really jams up my brain somehow, because what I think might be a good exercise is just talking to myself more as I walk around and have my articulated thoughts like that I have to vocalize to myself. That would probably be good practice for coming on here and solo DJing, which I'm probably going to be doing a bunch of. And it's doing it is actually an interesting exercise in keeping something going. If you imagine you were doing stand-up comedy or something, and you just can't hear the audience or something, or you can't. Well, I mean, it's kind of like what it is here. It's if your job for some reason was to stall, for a comedy thing, if you were opening for the headliner who they're trying to revive from a diabetic coma or something because he ate a bunch of donuts off of the craft table, and they're trying to or he just fell asleep, or it was the scene from Flight where Denzel Washington was still partially drunk, hungover, and they gave him all kinds of crazy drugs to get him back for his court appearance or something. Then sorry, that got real off track. But if you were trying to stall for a comedian and you just had to keep one bad joke going forever, and the whole crowd is just staring at you, mostly in confusion that gradually shifts to actual frustration, impatience, and anger. And you just try to, even through the booing and the throwing of beer bottles at your face, that you just need to power through, because if you do, then you'll totally save someone's giblets, a much more important comedian than yourself. So that's what I kind of feel like doing here, and it's a good exercise for hardcore freestyling of just saying anything and everything and just stream of consciousness, just throwing it out, because I really can't just do anything right now. I feel like I'm falling apart. But this is good, actually, because the first episode of Please Cancel Me I did that I recorded last week was actually too good, honestly, that I was looking back through it again, and I was able to edit it really easily and upload it really easily, and I was talking about fairly good stuff. That coming into this week, I was just I shouldn't be that good at this still, and it's totally off-brand for Please Cancel Me that I be anything other than absolute just streaming garbage. Speaking of streaming, we are streaming, and that's pretty cool. Wow, okay. I gotta take a breather on this a second. Here's Gallant Foxes by David. Alright, that was Gallant Foxes by David. Sorry, I hope I didn't startle you just then, but I guess we are horses now. I'm feeling like a horse, man, dude. I am going crazy up in here. So first off, I went out to the other room in there, and I was looking at the whiteboard schedule, and somebody erased to SL, out of my show, The Slouch. So it became The Ouch, and I don't know if that's a threat or not. But I think I know who did it, and the secret is me. Oh God, I'm going crazy up here. So I was talking earlier briefly about like intentionally just bashing classic rock stuff while playing really weird garbage electronica subgenres like vaporwave to my friends, just to be intentionally antagonistic to the sort of people who only listen to like 4 decades old music and are, to an extent that they're actually like really scornful of modern music, just, you know, to, I don't know. If you have that sort of attitude about it, then that's discouraging, you know, new experimentation with music. That's just keeping in like the old, you know, styles or whatever. And I don't know where that came from, like this heavy, like past romanticization of the past in regards to music. I don't know where this is coming from. It's just and don't get me wrong, I'm no stranger to the idea of just being contrarian for the sake of it. I love doing that. Gosh, in fact, I'm contrarian to this contrarianism. I don't know. It's just a sort of half-hearted like rebellion about like rebelling from like, I mean, when you're young, you're supposed to rebel against the establishment of like the older stuff, and that's, you know, what weird funky musical experimentation is. But these people are like rebelling against that, and they just want to adhere to the past and like very, you know, conservative in their music. And that, I don't know. There's nothing like I'm sure like the defense force is going to come out against this, like talking on me about, you know, saying things about the Sex Pistols or whatever. And I'm like, they're not bad musicians. It's just, why are you so obsessed with them to the point that you're like intentionally, you know, degrading on your own generation's music? Like, have a little more pride in the interesting musical experimentation that's happening in the time that you're alive, and maybe, you know, get in on some of that yourself and try to learn new things instead of just adhering to the past. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm seriously really delusional right now. Not delusional, delirious. See, my vocabulary is not even going straight. Normally that's my pride is my vocabulary. But I'm going to be out of here real soon, so you can finally get back to your peaceful life without me. And I'm going to play, oh gosh, Dual Orion, Starseed Hidden, which is some cool ambient atmospheric things from the EP of the little indie game Starseed Pilgrim. It's real chill. All right, well, I'm out of here. This has been Please Cancel Me. I'm J-Dox. You're listening to the Power 92.3 WKVR, and we're just going to go now back to some basic programming. But thank you for listening. Thank you to my parents for caring about me and supporting whatever the heck I'm doing, because honestly, I don't know any more than you do about it. But if you want to send in a letter, hit it up to Please Cancel Me or to J-Dox, J-D-O-X. That is Juniata College Box 726, 1700 Moore Street, Huntingdon, PA 16652. Again, that is Box 726, and I will hopefully read it. But, you know, in fact, I'm going to go down and check the mailbox right now because I haven't, and y'all might have been sending me letters that I totally have not read yet. But tune in next time to Please Cancel Me at 2 to 4, or, you know, just turn the radio off or to another station for that 2-hour block, and then you will hopefully be able to evade me. But thank you for listening once again. I got a lot of other stuff to do today, and hopefully I'll just take a nap instead. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.